Hello and welcome to another episode. I'm DissContinued29. I'm currently reviewing Xbox Gamepass games, and I also will be having a few sections on advice for parents about the game and advice for chronic illness and mental illness with regards to how taxing a game may be. This week I have been playing and reviewing Outer Wilds, not to be confused with Outer Worlds. They are two very different games. I started this game this week after seeing it recommended on a few open world game sites, and I thought I could see it was on Game Pass. I thought I'd give it a go. It was a game I'd not really heard much about. I had no idea what I was going into, what the game entailed. And when I first started to play it, I had a lot of childlike vibes from the game. It felt very simple, and I wasn't sure how I felt about it. But I pushed ahead, and I had a go and started really sinking my teeth into it. On the first playthrough, there's an aspect of the game that I didn't know would happen, and it caused me a bit of stress to start with, as somebody who's a bit of a sore loser. I died, as you do in these games, especially when you're just starting, and it rewound the entire game, and I thought it had sent me back to the beginning. And a lot of the start entry tasks are very mundane tasks as a tutorial setup. And I may have thrown the towel in for a short period of time. And then I discovered that that's actually the game. The whole game is set basically in-game within a single day. And at the end of the day, there is a supernova and the sun explodes and everything is wiped out, and you start again at the point where you would have started the game. And the trick with this is everything you've done, you've still done. It's logged on your spaceship records, and the whole game is set again. I draw back to early inspiration with these games. There's a lot of, again, the Myst elements to this game. There's a lot of problem solving. The entire game is gathering information, solving problems, and learning how things work. There are elements of quantum mechanics included within the game frame, so not necessarily accurate to science as we know it, but accurate within the game. And the entire game is searching out for a long dead race of aliens that were there far before the race of alien that you play as, because you play as an alien, ever existed. And you have to find and traverse various planets, exploring ruins, old technology, finding abandoned spacecraft, and learning as much as you can about where they disappeared to. And every 24 hours it resets and you take off from the planet again afresh. This can be equally frustrating as it is helpful. Sometimes you end up in situations that are difficult to get out of, and this voids that completely. There is one instance you meet a fellow alien of the same species, and they teach you how to meditate, and as soon as you've learnt that, it's really helpful, because when you're in a situation you can't get out of, or you need to get somewhere else and it's going to be very complicated to get out of this situation, you can select meditate, and it will meditate until the day resets, and that works out really helpful. I really like the artwork. When I first started playing this game, I felt it was very simple. It reminds me a lot of the old PlayStation game Abe's World in many respects, and it's quite cartoonish, but actually it lends itself incredibly well, and I think it's done something very unique as far as open world games are in regards to the planet. You can walk around the planet in 5 minutes usually, with the exception of the sun, obviously, as you can't walk around the sun or stand on the sun, and a planet called Dark Bramble. And when you get into there, you'll see in the video, there's some aspects of you're in a foggy location with lots of vines, and giant anglerfish, which fascinate me anyway, come and eat you if you make a noise. And that would be the only planet you can't, but there's a lot of quantum mechanics going on there, so it's a bit of a Doctor Who situation with the TARDIS. The outside of the planet is smaller than the inside, which makes it quite interesting. There's elements that really frustrate you, because if you get it wrong, you have to start the day again and do the whole thing again. So you need to learn fast. But at the same time, I find it has the balance just right of challenging you and making it difficult without making something impossible. There has been no element that I have spent hours and hours trying to redo something. There are moments as the game goes on, it gets more and more difficult and the challenges get more complex. Especially at the moment I'm in the Dark Bramble situation, and that can be frustrating at times, but it is also really enjoyable. It's definitely a puzzle, open world exploration game. There are elements of survival included, but I would not say it is a survival game. I don't find that element of the game challenging at all. Other than if you leave your ship, you have limited oxygen. That would be it. And as soon as you die, you reset anyway. On several occasions, I've blown up my ship, crashed my ship, lost my ship. Those are situations where it's been really handy to just restart the day. Now, in regards to any children playing this, I think they'd enjoy wandering around. I think they wouldn't necessarily, depending on the age of the child, get into the problem-solving elements. I think they'd enjoy taking off and landing on different planets. I think they'd find certain planets more difficult and probably avoid them in future. And with the reset, it would reset it. I think the only really scary element is the anglerfish. And I think they find it difficult to get to that bit, and when they're of the age where they would find how to access that area of the game, they would not find that as scary, more jumpy. And they're giant fish, and if you make a noise, they swim up to you and eat you. And they have big teeth. As you know what an anglerfish, you probably know what an anglerfish looks like. So I would probably say this would be a child-friendly game. There's bits of reading in it, but there's not huge amounts of reading in it. And I think if they wanted to go and free explore, there's no creative mode. If they wanted to free explore, they could do that quite safely. And I say that'd be fine. And again, for the chronic illness and mental health aspect, you can pause it. There's no online multiplayer element where that makes that difficult. The music is fantastic. It's very mellow, very indie rock, acoustic vibes going on. A lot of ambient sound, a lot of interesting puzzles. Things aren't too taxing. You can kind of wander around, and similar to the children, if you didn't want to follow certain aspects, you could just have a play around and explore the environment. I think that would be quite as enjoyable as following the game, if that's what you get out of a game. I say as adult gamers, you get a lot out of the game. If you enjoyed the old Myst games, if you enjoy the open world games, this would be definitely one to have a look at. It's not huge. There's not Skyrim, Fallout map sizes going on. They're very small. There is 5 planets. You can walk around each planet in 5-10 minutes. A lot of them, that's the outside circle of the planet. A lot of them have caves and aspects internally in the planet that you can explore. hidden towns and hanging cities. There is white holes and black holes going on, teleportation, gravity control devices that you can set up and walk up the side of mountains, and in hidden cities, walking around certain levels have things on the ceiling as well as the floor, and you flip between the two. There is a lot of depth, there is a lot to the game mechanics here, there is a lot to the style and the music. When I first started it, I thought I was going to rate this quite low, but as the game has got on, I think I'd probably again rate it another 7. I know 7's my standard at the minute. I'm giving 7 to very enjoyable games that I personally have enjoyed, that the artwork is good quality, the game mechanics are good quality, there's not too much frustration, there's a good level of challenge there. I just like to give a bit of room for something exceptional, and if we get there, I'm sure I'll be adding that. I'd probably say a Red Dead Redemption would be a 9 for me for the story mode, so that's where we're going with that. Yeah, so let me know what you think. Have you played Outer Wilds? What's your views on Outer Wilds? Have you got any questions? Any aspects of the game you think I've not covered? Anything you'd like to mention? As usual, I play these games each week. I choose a different game, and there's a couple of games I play consistently, such as Ark, that I'm playing a lot, and I have a lot of these games played through Mixer. That's mixer.com/DissContinued29. You can follow a lot of my play along with me gameplay on there, and on YouTube I'm just cutting up some of the footage from the games and creating these little review videos. So please like and subscribe, and let me know any respectful comments you may have on my reviews. I will see you all next week.